Hello and welcome to episode number 321. This is the Project Management Podcast at pm-podcast.com and I'm Cornelius Fichtner. Welcome back. In this episode, we are going to be taking a small step outside of project management, but we are not going to go and stray all too far. I was asked by the PMI Long Island, New York chapter to give a presentation for one of their career events on the topic of how to enhance your job search with social media to a group of project managers who are in transition. Our goal was to introduce them to social media and help them in their job search with solid tips and how-tos. This presentation was given over WebEx. So I was in California and they were in Long Island, New York. And before I could hit the record button, Dan Ryan, my contact over there, had already started to read out my bio and introduction. So you're going to get the whole thing in the middle of this and you'll see me scramble trying to set things up so that everybody gets to see my screen locally over there. What you'll also hear is that we're talking about a checklist that we'll be handing out to the attendees there. And here is the URL to this checklist. As you can see, probably not a good thing to copy paste this from the screen into your browser. Please go to pm-podcast.com. Look for episode number 321, where you will see the link to this particular PDF document right here. Well, and with all of that out of the way, let me just say that you're going to get the raw recording, and once the presentation is over, the episode will also be over. So thank you very much for listening. Until next time, and here is my presentation, how to enhance your job search with social media.
Your job search with social media. And in regard to social media, Cornelius has the background and experience. He uses social media almost on a daily basis, both for product marketing and also on internal projects of the online PMP exam training company that he founded. Furthermore, Cornelius is also a founding member of both PMI's New Media Council as well as PMI's Social Media Advisory Group, helping PMI understand how to leverage social media to advance project management. But Cornelius is probably best known around the world as the host of the Project Management Podcast. Since 2005, he has interviewed over 200 project managers and has made those interviews available to all of us. His interviews have been downloaded over 11 million times. Please help me welcome Cornelius Fichtner.
Hello everyone, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction, Dan. Just to be absolutely sure, you can see my screen with my smiling face there, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that that we are ready to go here. Didn't want to suddenly learn after 3 slides, hey, we can't see your slides. That would not be all too good. All right, and so that you can actually concentrate solely on the slides, I am now going to turn my camera off because you don't actually have to see me while we do the presentation here. So first of all, thank you very much everybody for inviting me here today to discuss social media and how to enhance it for your job search. And just to be on the safe side, enhance, the word enhance is really key here. Social media offers a lot of great tools to research jobs and promote yourselves, and nevertheless, it should not be your primary job search activity. It should be considered one of the many tools you have in your job arsenal. And right now, we're looking at the overview here of what we're going to see today. The first 4 items here, the definition, what it won't do, how to use it, and some of the platforms. I hope to get through this within about 10 minutes. And then we are going to be focusing for the rest of the presentation on a lot of tips. And I want to leave you at the end with 6 action items that you can apply in your job search, hopefully starting today or tomorrow. And also, for those of you who have already taken out their pens and paper, I have a request. Please put them away. At the end of the presentation, Dan will hand out a job search checklist that contains many of today's tips in condensed form. So no need for you to write things down at this time. All right, to get us started and to get us really all on the same page, let's define social media, because there are dozens and dozens of definitions out there for social media. Each has its own slant in regarding to what aspect of social media you are focusing on. And the one I've chosen here is a rather generic one from Chris Garrett. Social media is the tools, services, and communication facilitating connection between peers with common interests. And this is important to us as job seekers because we want to connect. We want to connect with others in our industry who may be able to assist us in finding our next job opportunity, or we want to connect to a company to learn more about them, or maybe even connect to people who already work at that company to learn what working there is like. And yeah, so much for the definition. I don't really want to spend much more time on it right now, and instead let us immediately turn our attention to the fact that there is something that social media will not help us do. What we have to realize at the start of our presentation and discussion here today is social media will not land you your next job. If you compare this statement about social media to the more traditional job search, then, well, you know exactly. Your cover letter, your resume, they are not going to secure your next job. Instead, it is still your skills, your experience, your background, your ability to do well during an interview, and many other factors from the traditional job search that are going to land you your next job. So it's you who's going to secure your next job. A tool like social media cannot replace you. Of course, the obvious question that you'll have at this point is, well, if social media isn't a silver bullet that's going to guarantee that I'm going to find my next job, is it still important for my job search? And the answer here is a resounding yes. First of all, yes, because social media is a modern platform to present your skills and experience to potential employers. It's part of the overall marketing mix of presenting yourself during a job search. And many already say that social media is more and more becoming your new job resume. And another yes, because an overwhelming number of recruiters, as you can see here, plan to increase their investment in social recruiting. And some of the reasons for this increase are the fact that it takes less time to hire someone. And if you are a recruiter, you usually find the best qualified candidates also over social media. Not only that, you can also increase the quantity, the sheer number of candidates, and not just the overall quantity, but the sheer quantity of candidates that are highly qualified for the position that you're trying to fill. Also, and this is an interesting one, early numbers seem to indicate candidates hired via social media tend to stay longer in their jobs. So yes, social media is here to stay in job search. All right, and even though we're still in the overview, sort of, I've already got the first few tips for you here, because for us as job seekers, there are 4 areas how we can best use social media in our job search. And from left to right here, the obvious first one is, of course, that it becomes much easier to research companies. You can follow them on Facebook or read their Twitter updates or however you do it. But more than that, you can also use social media to find new companies in your industry that you may not have considered before. Then the second one, you can connect with all your current contacts online, and connecting with them shows up on your social media account, and it's a signal that you are well connected and hopefully also well respected in your industry. Additionally, social media also shows you allows you, to grow your network beyond your current contacts. It becomes much easier to get to meet people who already work in organizations that you are targeting. Then the third one, another extremely important aspect of using social media, is that you can prove your worth to future employers. 3 out of 4 hiring managers are going to be reviewing your online profile before contacting or interviewing you, and so you want to show them that you have what they are looking for. And this is done by providing thought leadership through social media. For example, you can provide your own and thoughtful status update on the state of your industry, and then you should also be sharing content from others, like their updates or maybe articles that you've read and found interesting. And let's not forget also that participating in online industry groups shows that you are part of the discussion. And lastly, and yes, this is another obvious one here, your social media presence will showcase your skills and expertise. And that, of course, means you're going to have to clean up and update your social media profile before, during, and after your job search. You want to come across as professional and as complete. So much for the 4 main areas where we can use it, but of course there's also the other side, the top 4 activities for which employers and hiring managers use social media. First of all, employers search for candidates. We've already heard that on social media. It allows them to reach out to candidates, and that's important. They may otherwise not have applied for these jobs. So if you're a hiring manager, you have a specific candidate profile in mind, it becomes rather easy to search for these candidates. And now your goal as a job seeker has to be that when they search, it is you who they find. And we're going to see what you need to do later on. The magic term for this is called keywords. So keywords is an important term that we are going to be revisiting later on. Then once a company finds a potential candidate, they will contact them through social media. Most social media platforms, they offer some form of a contact feature, and they will send you a notice. And this means that you must monitor your social media account for anyone contacting you. And most platforms, they also give you the option to be notified. So when someone contacts you, say through LinkedIn or Facebook, they will then send you an email to your regular email account saying, hey, there's a message waiting for you that you need to go check. So that gives you sort of a one-stop shop in your inbox, in your email inbox. Of course, candidates will also be reviewed by the employers, and from your perspective, this means you must keep your social media profile updated. It should contain your most current information. And again, we're going to take a look at your profile later on. Lastly, of course, companies will use social media platforms to post their jobs. Some social media platforms, they allow posting directly, others don't, and then the company will just post it on their website, but they will publish a link. They will publish a link to that job in social media. And this is interesting because many human resources departments of large companies, often they have their own social media account, their own Twitter account that you can follow and monitor whenever they post a new job, so you can find it much faster and review it. Okay, so in conclusion of this segment here, yes, you need to use social media in your job search today. In fact, not having a social media presence these days is considered somehow almost to be negative. Social media is part of our modern life, and it shows that you are a well-adjusted individual. Not having a social media account, or even worse, deleting your existing social media account, that is going to raise a red flag, and recruiters will ask themselves, why is it that this person doesn't have a social media presence? Is there something that they may be hiding here or trying to hide? Right, and from what you have heard so far, one theme that will have become clear to you is this: your online profile, your social media profile, is at the center of enhancing your job search using social media. And so many of the upcoming tips, and also the ones that you're going to get in the handout at the end, they are focused on making sure that your online social media profile really delivers and is top notch. But of course, the question is, which profile are we talking about? And that takes us straight to the question, which social media platform should you actually use? Because there are so many out there. And based on the numbers that you see here, it's quite clear. LinkedIn is the number one platform to use. Nearly 80% of recruiters have hired someone through LinkedIn. And depending on the statistics that you read, and of course also depending on the statistics that you believe, that number goes as high as 90% of recruiters have hired someone through LinkedIn. So you definitely want to be present on all three of these platforms here, LinkedIn, Facebook, and also Twitter. But LinkedIn is going to require most of your attention. And that is also why our focus for the rest of this presentation is going to be on LinkedIn. Many of the tips I have for you, they can be applied to Facebook and Twitter as well, but LinkedIn really is the 800-pound gorilla. And so we're focusing on LinkedIn from here on forward. I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. It's not recommended that you spend all your time with online job search. Do some, meeting people and greeting people and connecting with people locally as well, as you're doing today, obviously. However, it's a good idea that if you're starting a job search, just one day that you spend on LinkedIn can be a day well spent, especially if you use it to research the profiles of people where you want to work, make connections with them, and updating your own profile. And then after the initial cleanup and preparation of your profile, the minimum should be to spend about 30 minutes 4 times a week on LinkedIn, during which you will be reviewing your connections, commenting on updates or posts, as well as researching companies and open jobs that are available through LinkedIn. So let's get into these promised tips. First of all, here are 4 general tips for you. They are all applicable across all networks, but especially important for your professional LinkedIn profile. So first of all, hyperlink your resume. You will still have a resume, maybe a Word document or something similar, PDF document. Make sure that you put your social media information there, the link to your LinkedIn profile, Facebook, or Twitter. And then you also want to make sure that you use your real name when you sign up to these platforms, because oftentimes the username that you choose then becomes the URL of your profile in LinkedIn. And frankly, linkedin.com/loverboy17, that's not going to look all too professional there. Third, spelling really matters, because surveys have shown typos and grammatical errors on a candidate's profile. They are a turnoff. Did you notice on the previous screen here? Did you notice the typo there on the top right? Time spent on LinkedIn. Many of you will have noticed this, and many of you would have gone, oh, cringe. Didn't he notice this? Didn't he have somebody read this presentation? Yes, I did, of course. And that was an intentional typo that I placed there, of course. So make sure that you have somebody read through your profile and give you feedback on that. And then lastly, as a general, you also want to avoid buzzwords. Creative, responsible, I'm an expert, I'm effective, I'm analytical, I'm driven, I'm strategic, patient, and so on. These words are completely overused on LinkedIn and also generally in job search. So be more original. Describe yourself in an original way without having to fall back to these buzzwords right there. All right, let's now turn our attention to your LinkedIn profile. And the very first thing that a hiring manager will look at on your profile is your profile photo. Of course, you only have one single opportunity to make a good first impression. So make sure that you have a photo that shows you from, well, your best side, and pun intended here. Even better, hire a professional photographer. A professional photo will help because people will, simply because it's a professional photo, perceive you as being more competent and also as more influential in your industry. I know this is superficial, but we all judge people by what we think of their image. So present yourself from the best possible angle here. And then, in addition to making a great first impression, you also want to make a lasting impression on the hiring managers by making sure that your online life is squeaky clean. So on the negative side, you want to go through your online life and make sure that you remove any status updates that are of a sexual nature, and make all those photos that show you drinking and dancing on the tables private. You also want to make sure that you don't have any status updates that are too political or too religious, and of course never ever badmouth a previous employer. That's one of the worst things you can have as a status update while you are on a job search. Instead, what you want to do is you want to show your personality. Never ever hide who you are, but show yourself from a positive angle. Show that you have a wide variety of interests and that you are a professional. And of course, you want to make sure that the resumes that you submit for your application matches your online life. Potential employer, they will want to verify that what you submitted in your resume actually matches with your online life and is accurate, so that what they see online about you is what you have submitted in your resume. So you want to go ahead and you want to do some spring cleaning on your online presence and remove all those incriminating photos from your last pool party at the least. All right, let's go through a profile here, top to bottom a little bit. I've chosen the one here from Mike Gropner, a colleague of mine. He's also a PMP. We've already talked about the professional photo right here. Then you want to make sure that you put your name and certifications up there. So Mike Gropner, PMP. There is actually a theory out there that says your name should only contain your name, nothing else. I sort of disagree with this, because to me, today the PMP for a project manager is a must. And if you can show off your PMP, the first thing you see is Mike's picture, and then you see Mike Gropner, PMP. So it gives a much better and clearer picture of what the hiring manager is looking at. And then check out there on the right-hand side, the 500 plus. He is well connected, Mike Gropner. I don't know how many connections you have, but the more connections you have, the better, because people like to connect with connected people, and connected people get hired much more easily because, again, they are viewed as influential. And then you should also have a catchy headline. That's the headline there underneath Mike's name: project/program/PMO manager and consultant. Frankly, not all that catchy, not all that original. So the question then automatically comes up and says, what is a catchy headline? What should I write there? How could I find that out? But what if you don't know what exactly you should write? Well, not a problem. What you want to do in a situation like this, you want to do some research for role model profiles. Find the people in your industry that you respect and who have a top-notch LinkedIn profile. I looked at mine the other day, and I have to tell you, mine isn't top-notch based on my presentation here. So don't use me as your role model, please. So let what others wrote inspire you on your profile to reach greater heights. And while you are researching them, what you can also do, check out who they are connected to and get some input for your company and job search as well. They may be connected to different companies you hadn't considered, or different people whom you had not considered. All right then, and now we're going to get into these keywords here. This is one of the most important terms that you're learning today, the term keywords. Remember, earlier on, I told you that hiring managers, they use social media platforms to search for candidates. And we want to make sure that it is you who they find. And that is what keywords are all about. Go ahead. Put yourself mentally into the shoes of a hiring manager who's looking for someone just like you. And this hiring manager is going to LinkedIn. What words do you think they would be searching for? What words are they going to type in as they are searching for people? And what words would they also be using in their job descriptions that they post online? Well, those words, those are the keywords that you want to include as part of your profile. For example, here in the summary. So go ahead. Analyze job posts of your dream jobs, multiple jobs, actually, not just one, and find out what are the recurring words that everybody is using in there, and then try to use these keywords about twice. They say 3 to 5 times is okay, but, never overuse them. Don't make PMP, 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 PMP throughout the whole thing, right? Just make it so that it's still legible and comes across as well written. So much for the keywords. And we also have to make sure that we understand that keywords are not buzzwords. They're quite different. Keywords are those words that you want to use in your profile because they help you to be found. And buzzwords are those overused words that you should be avoiding like the plague. Because frankly, when I see another person that says, I am self-driven, then I'm going to just start yawning myself here. Okay. Next, another part of your profile are going to be the various jobs that you worked on, and the great tool that LinkedIn offers here are recommendations. Your colleagues, your customers from previous jobs, they can log on to your profile in LinkedIn. They can write a recommendation for you. In this way, you get a third-party voice, somehow like a product testimonial almost. When you go to Amazon.com and you see, 5 stars, that must be a good product. Similar here, right? So you get a testimonial of your own skills. These recommendations are very important in social media job search. So if you don't currently have any, then please ask your former colleagues to endorse you and give you these recommendations here. And of course, once they give you a recommendation, please return the favor, right? We want to be reciprocal here with everybody. And again, think about what are the keywords that hiring managers might be looking for, and use those keywords for each position description that you write. Very similar to this is the skills section here. In this section, you can freely add up to 50 skills, and then other people can endorse you for these skills. Now, the good thing is you yourself can add these skills. So what I would recommend here, take your top 10 keywords that you have and input them as a skill that you have, and then again ask your connections, please endorse me for these skills. And the way this works is the more you are endorsed for a particular skill, the more it moves to the top. And in that way, hiring managers quickly can check, okay, where are your skills and what do other people recommend you for in terms of skills. Okay, these were a few of the sections that we have here, and I wanted to go through with you in your social media profile for LinkedIn. There are over 20 different sections that you can add on your LinkedIn profile. We're not going to look at all of them here. Don't worry, that would be awfully boring, but you should look at them. You should add the ones that make sense for you. For example, I once received a PMI Volunteer of the Year, and I'm also a PMI Orange County Fellow, so I would definitely add honors and awards, and 1 or 2 articles have been written about me, so I would add publications up there, and also the publications that I have published, I would put up there, right? But my recommendation is that there is one section that everybody should be adding, and of course, yes, that is the projects section. think about it. There are definitely 2 to 3 projects in your past life that you are absolutely proud of. So go ahead, describe these projects as part of an additional section here. I know that sometimes they overlap. You have job A, and in job A you had project X. Well, sort of, describe it quickly in job A. I worked on project X, and then further down, go more into details. Describe the project here a little bit more in detail and explain what you did and how you helped your company to be successful and how you delivered this project successfully. Yeah, and this really concludes our review of the most important sections of your LinkedIn profile. And so far, we've really only looked at what you need to do sort of to improve your chances of being found and to make sure that you have a really good and killer social media profile online. Now that the profile is updated and professional, let's take a look at the basic job search features that you have within LinkedIn. The first thing that you will notice is when you go to LinkedIn and you simply click on jobs in the menu, it's right there at the top, third or fourth from the left. The first thing you will see is this here, jobs that you may be interested in. And what you can do is there are 3 or 4 criteria that you can set, where the location, don't quite remember what they are. In any case, you can set your criteria to see the suggestions, and every time that you return back to the page here, LinkedIn will automatically bring the most current, the most interesting jobs for you back up based on the criteria that you have selected here. Of course, there's more. You can also search for jobs. What you see here is the simple job search. Couldn't be much easier, really. Just enter your job search criteria there at the top left. I put in PMP and click enter, and you're good to go. There's also an advanced feature. You see that on the right at the top there, and that lets you specify criteria like the industry or the zip code, and just goes much more in detail. And then there is one more thing you can do when you search for jobs, and that is the fact that you can save your job searches and then let LinkedIn send you alerts when it finds a job that meets your criteria. And here is how you do this. So once you have selected or filled in your job search and you're happy with this and say, that brings up the jobs I want, on the top right there, the orange circle that we see, click on Save Search. That will open up a dialog box that allows you to create and manage up to 10 saved searches. Very nifty feature, allows you to automate your job search. And what happens is this, I did this a few days ago for myself, and lo and behold, every day I'm now getting an email from LinkedIn with about 10, 12 of the top jobs that they have found based on the job criteria that I put into here. Very nifty. I like that very much. And then also, this one should be obvious, but nevertheless, you have to do your homework before you are applying for a job. Many job posts, they allow you to see the profile of the poster, the person who posted this job online. You see that right there. View profile of the poster, Michael Primorak, right? And from there, you might consider looking up others in that company who are on LinkedIn. And maybe you even find somebody connected to you who's working in that company already. As you can see here, I have 29 connections to the poster. So if I wanted to get in touch with Michael here, there are 29 people that I could go to and say, hey, could you connect me to him? So get in touch and learn more about the company and the job. And if you don't know the poster, well, then you can ask for an introduction. And somebody like the 29 people that we saw there for me is probably in your network who is connected to the poster. So go ahead and do ask for an introduction. However, asking for an introduction in the right way, that is an art form in and of itself. It really goes beyond of what we want to do here today. Let me just say this. Asking is okay. But you need to read some how-to guides before you ask. Don't just send an email to somebody saying, hey, I want to get in touch with Michael. Please connect me. You want to come across as professional. And one thing that I've learned in my research here is this, and that's the one tip I give you. If you ask somebody, would you please introduce me to Michael, you have to also give them a way out and to politely decline. And they can then say, you know what, I like you, but I really don't want to make this introduction. So that's the one thing that you want to do. That's my one tip here for you beyond. You need to read up on this. You need to learn how to do this properly before you start asking for introductions. All right. All the features that I have shown you so far, these are the free features that LinkedIn offers. But of course, they are a business and they want our money. So they offer some premium features as well. If you use the premium features, then you can directly message to recruiters. You will show up as a featured applicant. You can see who has been stalking. You can see who has been reviewing your profile, and you'll also get additional insights and statistics. These things, they can, but they don't have to help you in your job search. Just give it a try. It's free for the first 30 days, and then there is some fee on a monthly basis, and you can cancel anytime if after 2-3 months you feel, you know what, this is not really helping me all that much. But at least, the 33 days are free with these premium features that they offer. Right. So, to close out our presentation today, I would like to leave you with 6 action items in order to help you enhance your job search with social media. First of all, please read and watch a few how-to guidelines and also videos. The handout that you'll be given is one of these, and LinkedIn even offers monthly recorded webinars that can help you. But you can also just simply go to Google and Google how to improve my LinkedIn profile, or how to use social media, or how do I ask properly for an introduction on LinkedIn, and get to know more about social media and how to come across as a professional. Second, you really want to go through your past online life and do some cleanup by removing anything that may be negative in your current online life. I know, in the end, it's going to be sort of a vanilla kind of life that you have online. Yes, okay. But we're in a job search situation. We want to come across as professional. We don't want to rub anybody wrong and risk that we are losing just to be looked at because there is a picture of us dancing on a table somewhere. Next, go ahead and update all your profiles and improve them in the way that we have talked today. LinkedIn should be your first choice. Then, of course, also improve your Facebook profile. And then if you have a Twitter account, also update your Twitter account. Make them as professional as you can. And by the way, there are also how-tos for how to improve your Facebook profile, how to improve your Twitter profile. Oftentimes these are checklists, so you look one up and you get, okay, here are the 6 top things you need to do to improve your Facebook profile for job search. Go ahead, follow that, make it better, improve it, and with 6 steps you're much closer to finding a job and coming across as a professional. Right. That was number 3. Number 4, now you want to connect if you haven't already done so. You want to connect to as many as your real life connections as possible. You can do this manually just by searching for people online via their name or via typing in their email address. But LinkedIn also has a feature where it allows you to do so via your Gmail or your Yahoo address book. I think Outlook is also possible. At the top right there, when you log on to your LinkedIn profile, there is a little person. Click on that little person at the top right, and it will show you an option to connect to people and do it automatically for you. Then number 5, do not forget to ask for recommendations. ask for recommendations from your past colleagues on your jobs, and also ask for skill endorsements. And please, in both cases, do return the favor. If somebody endorses you for a skill, endorse them for one skill that you know that they have as well. And lastly, with all this cleaning and updating and making sure that you have a good profile photo and you have a catchy headline, please don't forget, you are here to apply for jobs as well. So yes, you want to create a good profile and make sure you come across nice, but really, you have to search for and apply for your next dream job as well. That is just part of the game here. Remember, we're enhancing our job search with social media. What we have done until now, until step 6 here, that was just preparing. We have to go out there. We really have to search for jobs and apply for jobs. And what we've done so far is just making sure that we're coming across as very professional. Well, and that's it. That is my presentation for you on how to enhance your job search with social media. One thing I want to get across to you as well, many of you may be PMPs. You may be looking for free PDUs, and I do offer 30 free PDUs at this URL here, pm-podcast.com/PDU. And the dash there is important, so pm-podcast.com/PDU, where you can find free interviews, no sign-up required, just press play and you will start earning your PDUs. And that's it from me. Thank you very much. Dan?
Well, that was awesome, Cornelius. Thank
you
so much. I know I have a question or two. We're going to not ask too many questions, but does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask Cornelius about this?
I do. I don't know if you can hear me. I get a lot of requests to connect from lots of people who I don't know. Should I be accepting their connection, or should I be looking at them, at their profile, and making an assessment? And if so, how do I respond, basically?
Okay. If I understood your question correctly, you get a lot of requests from people you do not know to connect. Should you accept them? Yes or no? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I get connection requests on a daily basis. I've given up. I have so many people who want to connect to me. I just go, yeah, okay, yes. But that's simply because I'm well known in the industry and people want to connect to me. They almost see it as they see me as somebody they want to connect to. So I just accept them. If you are not sure, why don't you write back to them and say, okay, I've seen your connection request. Please remind me, where have I met you? How do we connect? What I've done, however, is I'm currently not on a job search. I do not accept connection requests of hiring managers or recruiters. Those are the two that I personally don't accept, simply because I'm not looking for a job. But otherwise, I'm pretty open. People want to connect to me, I let them connect to me.
Cool.
Any other questions?
What about other websites like monster.com?
I was going to bring that up too, Cornelius. Where does this all fit in with things like Career Builder, Dice.com, Monster.com, and all these other places we post our resumes and search for jobs? How does that fit in with the LinkedIn stuff?
Absolutely. The other websites are not social media websites, right? They are job websites. They're purely focused on job search, finding a job. My presentation here today was focused on how to use social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, classic social media platforms, how to use them. Of course, what you have heard today here does apply also over at monster.com and all the other job search websites. But because my focus here today was on social media, I didn't discuss any of the other job search websites. But again, remember, 80% of hiring managers that were surveyed have hired through LinkedIn. So that is a monster, and monster.com, LinkedIn is a monster. Funny. Didn't even realize I was making that joke. So it's the 800-pound gorilla. You really want to be on LinkedIn, and you want to have your profile there, publicly there. It's a rite of passage almost these days. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, even if you're on Monster, people will search for you on LinkedIn. It's a must-have. It's a must-have.
Okay.
One more question. Should you keep a complete resume on LinkedIn, or should you just have a summary profile?
Well, he said something about the hyperlink, but the question is LinkedIn to be a place where you replicate your entire resume word for word, or is it a high-level profile, or what's the balance?
Okay. That is a good question, right? There is a balance that you have to strike. Remember, you're going to be submitting your full resume to the companies at which you're going to apply. And they are going to go to your online profile, and they're going to go and review and make sure, that they're going to check your online life. They're going to be stalking you. Let's put it that way. So you want to make sure that at least there is a match, right? You may go more in depth in the resume that you submit, and you may go high level in LinkedIn. Personally, I tend to be rather short on LinkedIn. I have my jobs there, quick description, 1-2 sentence of what it is, making sure I use those good keywords, and then I leave it at that. I do, however, make sure that there is a match between the two, so that when somebody tries to see both, that they can see, oh yeah, okay, so this is up to date. I'm looking at the right person here.
Great. All right, maybe one last question before we wrap it up. In the back?
Yeah. Cornelius, one of the things I noticed with people looking for new opportunities is that they actually specify that in their LinkedIn. They'll say, looking for new opportunities. What's your recommendation or input?
Okay, Dan, could you please repeat that? I can't really understand the question.
So tell me if I'm phrasing this correctly. What you're saying is that job hunters, job seekers, they put a very precise message in their LinkedIn profile about the type of opportunity that they're looking for.
They just go off and say, looking for new opportunities.
Oh, okay, no, okay. So that it's kind of up front on their profile, people are saying things like, hi, like I'm looking for new opportunities, or things like this. Do you endorse that type of a use of LinkedIn, or do you think a different approach is more suitable?
If you are currently employed and you do not want your employer to realize you're looking for a job, definitely the answer is obvious. Don't put it anywhere, right? Don't put it there. Just keep it updated, right? And search a little bit around. If, however, you are currently unemployed, don't put that in your profile. Don't say I'm unemployed and looking, but do put in there that you are interested in new opportunities. Again, let me make it also clear here. I'm a project manager with social media experience. I'm not a hiring manager. I'm not a recruiter. So sometimes, the words, the really good words, the phrases, they fail me because, it's not my day-to-day job. So if you're asking me what exactly should I write, then I would say, well, very easy. Go to Google, type in, what do I write in LinkedIn if I'm looking for a job, right? What I have found in my research is this. Many recruiters, they recommend, yes, put it in there. Do say that you're looking for a job, because that tells us, hey, this person is interested. We can contact you, and we understand that there is less of a hurdle between the two of us. So making sure that people know that you're looking for a job is a good thing. So the first thing is, yes, put it there. Make a note that you are looking for a job. Find good words, the exact phrases through Google. Also let your connections know. There may be a few people in your network that you know exactly, these 4 or 5 people here, they're well connected. They always have companies that they get to know, and maybe they have jobs that they could recommend. Make sure that your connections know, I'm looking for a job. Just let them know. Every 3 or 4 months, I get an email from Craig Wilson. And Craig says, hey, my current engagement has ended. He's a consultant. If you hear anything, please let me know. And like clockwork, people get back to him and say, hey, Craig, yeah, we have something, or Craig, here is something else. He's a very high-end C-level type consultant in the IT business and project manager as well. That would be my recommendation.
All right. Well, with that, one last round of applause. Thank you, Cornelius.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it. All right. You have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care now.